All right, we're scheduled today for a status hearing, and also the court intends to take up a motion for temporary custody and parenting time orders that was filed by the petitioner. I did review some emails that got sent late yesterday afternoon. I think perhaps a continuance request from Ms. Pohl, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and you wish to ask the court to continue this hearing?
Yes, so that I can meet with Brock Baxter so that he can represent me during the hearing.
Okay, this case was continued from a previous setting for that same purpose. Back on August 14th, we were scheduled. And I think Mr. Baxter had contacted the court, and we coordinated a continuance so he could enter, and he's not yet entered his appearance. Mr. Gutenberg, what's your position on the continuance request?
We're objecting to a continuance at this point. Actually, Mr. Baxter did call our office this week and let us know he will not be entering an appearance in this case. But also, we've passed the 1 year mark since the petition filed in this case, and there still aren't any temporary orders. Ms. Pohl submitted, some exhibits, and what the exhibits and the back and forth between the parties shows is that we really need some temporary orders in this case. There's disputes about pickups, disputes about drop-offs, disputes about school enrollment, who has rights, who doesn't have rights, after the multiple continuances, we just don't know how long this thing is going to go. I mean, temporary orders are usually ex parte anyway, so...
All right, guys. Buckle up, because today's courtroom drama is unlike anything you've ever seen. We're talking about custody, parenting rights, and a judge who's running out of patience. This case has been dragging on for over a year with no temporary orders in place. That's rare, and the judge is about to put his foot down. From missed deadlines to excuses, everyone's on edge. You'll see lawyers clash, parents scramble, and the truth about their messy lives spill out right here in front of the court.
I don't see any reason why we can't go forward today.
All right. Ms. Pohl, anything additional you'd like to add regarding your continuance request?
It mainly comes down to the financial, and that's been really tough. I have been in contact, as I have told the court, with Kansas Legal Services, and that was about a year process of talking to them, showing evidence, and they also told me to wait to file a report with DCF as well.
All right, well, this case had been set for a bench trial months ago that ended up getting taken off docket. I can't recall. I think maybe there were some medical issues, some other continuances for you to try to hire counsel. Really, this case does need to move forward. It's unusual that a case would be operating this long without some sort of temporary parenting plan. So I'm not going to continue the issue of a temporary parenting plan out any further. I want to take that up today. And then after we do that, then we can figure out if we need to schedule a trial date or see where we need to go from here. But today I'd like to, at a minimum, get a temporary parenting plan in place. So, Mr. Gutenberg, give me a little bit of background on what the current de facto parenting plan has been.
Sure. Per the filings in this case, I submitted some exhibits late last night. I don't know if those got printed for you, but in the answer and in the petition, both parties agreed that Mr. Pohl has had custody of both children since 2024 at his home in El Dorado.
Now listen carefully, because this is where things heat up. The mother, Sierra, is begging for yet another delay so she can bring in a lawyer. But here's the twist. The lawyer she keeps mentioning has already told the court he isn't even taking her case. That's right, guys. The excuses are piling up, and the judge isn't buying it anymore. The father's lawyer steps in, saying enough is enough. Kids are stuck in limbo, and the fighting is nonstop. And trust me, the judge agrees. It's time to stop stalling.
They're currently enrolled in school there in Skelly Elementary School and El Dorado Middle School. This is the life as they've known it for as long as this case has been pending. There was some informal sharing before that, and arguably at one point, Ms. Pohl had been the primary custodian. But as I said, they've been separated since spring of 2022. But since this case has actually been pending, and as I said, it's been a little bit more than a year now, the children have been with Mr. Pohl at his home and enrolled in school in El Dorado. And
Remind me how old the children are at this point?
like
10 and 12?
Yes,
is that right, Jared? Thank you.
All right, and they've been in the primary custody of Mr. Pohl for how long?
A year, Your Honor.
A year and 2 weeks, according to my notes.
And how long have they been enrolled in El Dorado schools?
For this school year, for this school year and last school year.
All right, where did they go to school before that?
In Wichita, the Minnehaha Magnet School, and there was I don't remember the name of the elementary school. Do you remember, Jared? Curtis Elementary School.
It was Curtis.
So last school year they were in El Dorado, and they've just started El Dorado schools again for this school year. Is that accurate?
Right.
Your Honor.
Okay.
They started in Wichita last year.
All right, Ms. Pohl, you'll have an opportunity to respond here shortly. So
They did start school.
All right, pay attention here because the father's lawyer lays it all out. He points out that the kids have already been living with their dad for over a year. They're enrolled in local schools, settled in routines, and building their lives around him. Meanwhile, the mother's side? Pure chaos. She's been bouncing from place to place with no stability, and the kids deserve better. The judge wants facts, not drama, and the facts show the kids' day-to-day lives are far more consistent with their father.
Last year in Wichita before I brought them with me and moved them to the El Dorado School District.
all right, and how long, Mr. Gutenberg, has your client resided in El Dorado?
Since about the time of the separation, I believe, since about spring of 2022. I think it took him a little bit of a while to get a home there. Do I have that right, Jared?
Yeah, I was in an apartment in Wichita for probably about a year or so, maybe a little more, before I moved to El Dorado. So I've been here for about 2 years.
All right, and Mr. Gutenberg, what type of parenting time has Ms. Pohl had during this period?
The parties have tried to do just kind of informal sharing, ad hoc, as agreed, and as I mentioned before, that's kind of led to some conflict. And I think one of the things that's kind of interesting about this is Ms. Pohl does not have a permanent home, does not have transportation, so Mr. Pohl pretty much every time that Ms. Pohl gets to have some parenting time, it's because Mr. Pohl drops the kids off at the hotel that she happens to be staying at with her new partner at that time. Which of course does not seem, at least to petitioner, like a stable scenario for primary residency.
And how often has she been having parenting time?
Most weekends, to my understanding.
Yes, it's most weekends.
And guys, this is where things get personal. The lawyer explains how the mother doesn't even have her own home or reliable transportation. Every visit she gets depends on the father dropping the kids off at a hotel where she's staying with her new boyfriend. Imagine that. A hotel is a home base for kids. The father has been handling all the pickups, all the drop-offs, and all the responsibility. The judge isn't blind. He sees the imbalance, and you can feel the weight of that reality hitting hard in the courtroom.
Like with the way the post office works with the day off, it rolls around to where I get a Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. So for that long weekend, I'll have the kids with me. But there was the weekend where Monday was the holiday, and absolutely, they went over Friday evening, and then I picked them up Monday evening.
And and I want to, Mr. Gutenberg, I'm going to address you. If you need to consult with your client regarding the answers, that's fine. Has your client been doing all of the transportation on these visits, the pickups and drop-offs?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And what type of temporary parenting plan are you asking for, Mr. Gutenberg?
Pretty much just that status quo of kind of reasonable sharing of the parenting time as requested, but just making sure that there's joint legal custody, and also that Mr. Pohl is designated as the primary residential custodian.
All right. Anything else you would add?
I would just make the point that again, our position is that it would not make sense to give the primary residential to somebody who doesn't have a residence and that's kind of aside from the argument of what's been the status quo, where the children have been geographically, where they're enrolled in school. So that's petitioner's position at this time.
All right. Where does your client work, Mr. Gutenberg?
He works at the United States Post Office here in Wichita.
So he works in Wichita?
I believe so. Is that right, Jared?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now here's where the fireworks really start. The judge asks Sierra directly about her living situation, and her answer's brutal. She admits she's living in a Motel 6 with her boyfriend, paying thousands every month just to survive. No job, no car, and no clear plan. Guys, this is not a good look when you're fighting for custody. The judge wants stability for the children, and right now the father's side looks like the only one providing it. The courtroom tension spikes as Sierra struggles to defend herself.
And is he remarried, or is there a live-in there in the home with him?
Yes, he does. He does have a new partner. They haven't discussed with me if they have any plans to get married once the divorce is final, but he does have a new partner that they live together and share expenses. And
are there any other children in the home?
Not to my knowledge.
No.
All right. Ms. Pohl, give me an update on your current living situation first.
I am currently living in a hotel, and when we go to trial, that will be the full explanation why I'm still residing in the hotels. I currently pay between, or my boyfriend pays between $2,000 to $3,000 a month just in shelter costs. And it's because it's pretty much a living forced kind of day by day, and that's not including transportation, it's not including food. So the expenses are really high right now, and there's two separate rooms, and there is a full kitchen as well.
Where is this hotel located? What is it? What is the name of it?
It is Motel 6 on West Kellogg.
West Kellogg?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And you live there with a boyfriend?
Yes.
Okay. Are there other children that reside there?
They do not reside.
Listen up, because the judge isn't here for excuses. He pushes Sierra for clarity, but all he gets are half answers and more complaints about the father. Meanwhile, the father's side stays calm, confident, and laser focused. The reality is obvious. The dad's got a steady job at the post office, a stable home, and a partner who shares expenses. That's structure. That's consistency. The mother? She's relying on Uber rides, living in a hotel, and counting on her boyfriend's foreign bank account to get by. Guys, who do you think looks more reliable here?
Are you employed?
No.
Is your boyfriend employed?
He has, well, he's from Europe and he has his bank account.
Okay, but he doesn't work?
No.
But he's paying for these various expenses that you referenced?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so how much parenting time have you been exercising?
Like I said, the question was, like, previously, Jared insisted that he had in the past, when the children resided with me, that he had every single weekend and that he had every single 3-day weekend off as well. And the conflict has began because there has been a lot of fights and he's restricted when the children come. There's a lot of threats as well to the weekends, because I asked that continue, because I thought it was fair that when they were with me that they had
All right,
every
Ms. Cole, right now I'm just trying to get, I don't want all of the background information. I just want to find out how often you've been exercising parenting time.
It depends. Sometimes Jared wants the 3-day weekend, so I do not get that weekend with the kids, and he'll have some events come up that he doesn't. So it's pretty much sporadic. And
Okay, on an average month, how many weekends would you say you exercise parenting time?
and the summer was longer because I would have them, during breaks.
And here comes the breaking point. Sierra tries to argue that she should get every single weekend with the kids, but her story keeps falling apart. She admits parenting time has been sporadic and admits she can't even propose a clear parenting plan. The judge? He's not impressed. He wants answers, not confusion. The father's lawyer seizes the moment, pointing out that random, chaotic parenting time isn't working. What these kids need is consistency, not drama. And it's clear which side of the courtroom is delivering that.
And everything. And lately, since school started, I have had the children during the weekend, except like the 3-day weekends.
When you say 3-day weekends, are those holiday weekends?
Now, those are his scheduled time off of work that he gets from his job. Sorry.
So he utilizes parenting time on the weekends when he has a 3-day weekend, and then you've been having parenting time on the non-3-day weekends?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. How long do you plan on being at this hotel?
I am hoping for about two months.
All right. And then what's your plan?
To look for an apartment.
All right. What kind of temporary parenting plan would you propose?
I have a hard time agreeing to a parenting plan because of my concerns with Jared.
All right, so you don't have a proposal to make today for a temporary plan?
I would like to have every weekend with the kids. I mean, as I had done in the past with Jared.
Okay, Mr. Gutenberg, when does your client have these 3-day weekends?
My understanding is that he has a Monday or Friday off from time to time. He's notified in advance, but it doesn't sound like it follows a particular pattern. Is that right?
It does. It follows a particular pattern. We have different shifts for different days off that we rotate at the post office. So,
All right, let's get into the judge's ruling, because this is where things lock in. After listening to both sides, the judge makes the call. Joint legal custody, but the father gets primary residency. Why? Because the kids are thriving where they are. In school, in a stable home, and in a predictable environment. The mother still gets parenting time, but now it's defined. Weekends except every fourth weekend. No more at the father's discretion. No more chaos. The judge puts structure back into these kids' lives, and you can feel the relief.
like this week, my day off was Monday. And then next week, it rotates to the next week, Tuesday, then Wednesday, Thursday. So it's usually about 4 weeks in between a 3-day weekend.
Are the kids involved in any extracurricular activities?
Yes, sir. Ellie is a part of K Club here in El Dorado, and she is rehearsing for the K Club musical, I think next month.
Is that something, or do they do any activities that are on the weekends?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Poole, do you have transportation?
No, the vehicle in question is the marital asset, the van.
All right. Does your boyfriend have transportation?
No, we use Uber.
All right. All right. It makes sense for a temporary parenting plan for there to be joint legal custody for Mr. Poole to have primary residency. The children are in El Dorado. They're enrolled in schools. Mr. Gutenberg, does your client own a home or rent a home or in an apartment? What's his living situation?
I believe they rent their home.
Yes, we rent in El Dorado.
All right. And how long have you lived in the home you're currently in?
Myself living, Stephanie lived here prior to my partner lived here prior to me, for two or three years. So she's been here for about 5 years, and I've been here for about 2 years now.
Okay. The children have stable residency with the father here in El Dorado. They're enrolled in school in El Dorado.
But guys, this isn't just about weekends. The judge drills down to the details. When the kids will be dropped off, when they'll be picked up, and how late is too late. The father must deliver the kids by 7 p.m., no excuses. If he's running late, he has to call. That's accountability. The mother, despite her unstable living, still gets her time. And the court makes sure she isn't cut out completely. It's strict, it's clear, and it's exactly what this case has needed all along.
Dorado. I don't want to have the parenting plan as it is, where it's basically at Mr. Poole's discretion. I want to set specific weekends that Miss Poole will have parenting time. She's in a difficult living situation, but I don't think that should preclude her from having parenting time. And I think the current de facto plan basically has been she's been having all of the weekends that aren't 3-day weekends. I'd like to try to nail down some specificity on when those. You think it's about every fourth week?
Yes, Your Honor. Said I had Monday off. It'll be Tuesday next week. So yeah, but every 4 weeks, Your Honor.
Okay, so this weekend would be a weekend that typically they would be with Miss Pohl.
Yes, Your Honor. As soon as I'm going into work when I'm done here, as soon as I figure out how late I'm going to be, then I'll get back to El Dorado and pack the kids up after school, and we'll get them over there.
Okay, well, I'm going to order on a temporary basis then that Miss Pohl have weekend visitation every weekend except the fourth week, and this will be starting this weekend. So my understanding is that the next 3 weekends would not be your 3-day weekend, then the fourth would be.
Yes, Your Honor. See if I can go look at a calendar just right quick. We have one. Okay. Yes, Your Honor. So it would be 4 weeks.
All right, so
Now here's where it gets interesting. The court isn't stopping at weekends. It's looking ahead to holidays too. Thanksgiving, Christmas, all the major events. The father says he had the kids last year, so this year it's the mother's turn. The judge wants everything nailed down now, so these two don't come crawling back later with more disputes. It's a chess match, and the judge is making sure every move is locked in place. No more last-minute drama, no more courtroom battles over holidays.
the next 3 weekends would be parenting time with Miss Pohl, and then the fourth weekend would be parenting time with Mr. Pohl, and then follow that same pattern. Do you think you can craft that into language into a journal entry, Mr. Gutenberg?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and then typically when you get off work, Mr. Pohl, then you drive the kids over to the Motel 6.
Yes, Your Honor.
What time do you typically arrive there with the children?
My schedule can vary. If I get off early and they get, I can get them usually about 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. And then that's usually about the time on Sunday, or, you know, if it's a Monday off or something, they don't have school. Then it's about the same time for pickup, between 6 and 7.
Okay. Miss Pohl, do you agree that that's about the time they usually arrive?
Yes.
All right. I think the language should say they should be delivered, at a reasonable time after Mr. Pohl gets off work, but no later than 7 p.m. If for some reason you have to work late and you can't get them there by 7, Mr. Pohl, you need to call Sierra and let her know that you're running a little bit late. And then
Yes,
what
sir.
time do you usually pick them up on Sunday?
Pickup time's usually about the same time, between 6 and 7 p.m., Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Pohl, do you agree that that's when it typically is?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I'll just order that they be, Mr. Pohl will pick them up between 6 and 7 on the Sunday. All right, Mr. Gutenberg, any other specifics that need to be addressed as far as a temporary parenting plan? I mean, I don't know when we're going to finalize this divorce, hopefully fairly soon, but we probably need to take into consideration Thanksgiving and Christmas while we're here, just so we have something in the event, so we don't have to come back later. What have the parties been doing for Thanksgiving?
I had the children last year for Thanksgiving, so they'll be with Sierra for Thanksgiving this year.
Okay. Any objection to that, Sierra?
We have always had issues with the holidays.
Well, I'm right now I'm just talking about Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Do you want to have the children for Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Okay. Do we know when they get out for Thanksgiving break? Are they off the whole week?
I'm not sure, Your Honor. I'd have to look at the school schedule on the dashboard.
All right, guys, here's the bottom line. After over a year of delays, excuses, and chaos, the judge finally stepped in and forced structure into this broken situation. The father gets primary custody, the mother gets weekends, and the kids finally have some stability. Is it perfect? No, but it's progress. And in family court, progress is everything. This hearing proves one thing. If you keep stalling, if you keep dodging responsibility, the court will eventually take control. And trust me, that's exactly what happened here today.